Fully tech mechanical, optiMAX 135. We fixed up some battery connections. We found another cheap battery switch issue, which there's another surprise. You'll start hearing that more and more and more in all my videos. Anyways, we've been running this, and it's got an inconsistent condition where it'll idle real nice and run real nice, then all of a sudden it'll start running on 5, and then it'll run on 6, then it'll run on 5, and found a couple interesting things. We've used just a regular automotive timing light. Guys go, well, it's 2-stroke. What are you playing around with a 4-stroke timing light? We're just using this to indicate spark. We have spark checked everything, but if you have inconsistent spark, you're not going to be able to tell which one's dropping out. So what we've done is we've put our test lead on every single spark plug wire until we found one, which just so happens to be cylinder number 1, that's dropping out. So we're going to run it and we'll show you what it does. So you see the sparks seem to come and go on this number 1 when I'd pull or wiggle these wires. At first I thought maybe it was the coil wire, the actual plug wire, but it seems to be in this connector. And we've opened it up and everything looks okay. So I suspect we've either got a problem in the wire at the crimp or where the pin connects into the circuit board inside, which is all potted. And these coils are like non-serviceable. You just change them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move the number our number 3 and number 4 coil up to number 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 down to 3 and 4, and see if the problem moves with the coil or stays still. If it moves with the coil, we know it's a bad coil. If it doesn't, it stays still, then we know we've got an issue with the control wiring coming back from the computer, but we'll sort that out shortly. Well, we were kind of screwed there. We went to pull the coil packs off, but this whole plate, which is going to be a bit of a pain to pull off, has got the nuts in the backside. I just assumed they were nut certed. So what we've done, instead of actually swapping the coils end for end, is we've just electronically changed it. So we've moved our number 1 down to here, and the wire will just reach. It's not how you'd want to run the motor for any length of time. This is just for testing, and we've swapped everything around. So we'll fire it up here in a second and see what it does. So I know everything happened really fast there, but we moved our number 1 wire down to this coil, moved our number 1 control wires down to this coil. The problem moved electronically, but now the number 1 coil, which is now firing number 3, is working perfectly fine. So what we've confirmed is the coils are okay, so we're not going to be changing any parts at this point. However, the investigation is going to continue. We're likely going to have to open up this weather pack and see what we can see. We've got an intermittent connection. We'll figure it out, we'll clean it up, and it will be likely a cheap fix once we figure it out, but we're going to have to get it back in the shop, and that isn't going to happen tonight.